Hi everyone, my name is Nathan Worden. I am one of the resident directors in Residence Life. I wanted to talk to you today about roommate conflict, and I wanted to give you a specific scenario for you to walk through this example with me. The scenario is how to talk to your roommate about their smell. So the reason why I chose this example is because it actually is a pretty good framework for a lot of other conflicts that have similarities. So for example, the way that you smell isn't really your fault, and it's not anyone's fault for the way you smell. And it's important to approach most conflicts from the lens that it's not someone out to get you, or the problem isn't framed in a way where someone's trying to do this to you. It's just maybe part of the way you interact with them and how that can just be a dynamic that no one is really at fault for. And that actually happens a lot. We have a thing called the Student Bill of Rights, which says things like you have the right to sleep in your room, you have the right to feel comfortable in your room, you have the right to study in your room. Sometimes though, the way that you choose to feel comfortable, or that you feel comfortable studying in your room, makes your roommate not feel comfortable having friends over. And so no one's really trying to encroach someone else's rights, but the fact that you both live there start to overlap and conflict. So I think that this is a good place to start. So I just have 7 quick sort of steps to talk through what I would coach someone through as far as how the heck do you tell someone that they smell. So the first thing to do is understand your own smell. You need to be thinking about this from the perspective that you've got your own smell. Each person has 4,000 different smell receptors in their nose, capable of smelling about 10,000 different distinct smells. And the way you smell both is decided by the way you're biologically made up, but also the way that someone else perceives your smell. So it's a two-way kind of street. So understanding that you smell a certain way too helps you understand that your roommate is smelling the way they do, and that's okay. Second step would be to care. You know, you're initially probably walking into the room going, I can't breathe, I can't sleep, I'm being affected by this. But as you think about how you want to solve the problem, you need to care that your roommate is going to be taken care of as well, and that there's a solution that's going to work for them too. If you don't care about them, you're ultimately not really going to be able to help yourself or have a productive conversation. So 2, care. 3, you have to state the problem, your concern. You have to actually tell your roommate that they smell. This is usually the hardest step, and usually people balk at it and go, you want me to tell my roommate that they stink? And I go, yes. I want you to do that. This is hard because culturally, you know, the phrase, you stink, has been an elementary school insult ever since elementary school. That was redundant. But, you know, that's just hardwired into us. Like, you stink, you smell, that's an insult. That's a way to tell someone, like, hey, don't like your face, I don't like you. But that, you know, we need to separate the insult from the reality that this is something that is affecting you in your room, and you need to be able to talk about that in order to address it. So be able to say that to them. The next step would be ask for collaboration. You've stated the problem, you're stating how it's affecting you, but then you need to ask them, how are you feeling about this? Do you perceive it the same way? What are some solutions that you think that could be part of that? And so the next step is to listen. You gotta listen. Once you've asked for them to give you some feedback, you can't jump then into your solutions. You have to actually incorporate the way that they're feeling about it and the things they're telling you into that solution. Listen, listen, listen. And the thing about listening too is that not just do you need to do a good job listening, you also need to make sure that they've felt listened to. Even if you say like, yeah, I listened to them. I definitely listened to them. But they still didn't perceive or thought that you spent the time or let them finish their full thought. They can't move on to a place where you can make a solution until they feel heard. So you need to do a better job of making sure that they felt listened to you rather than say, yep, in my mind, I've listened to them. Focus on them. So listen, listen, listen. Last 2 steps, step 6 would be focus on a win-win scenario. So this is not a zero-sum game or a win-lose. This isn't something where someone else has to give something up for you to feel better. This is a situation where you can find a way where both of you can be comfortable in the room. You just have to get creative about it. And that's the last step. look for solutions, explore all creative solutions, even if they're awkward. So when you needed to say, hey roommate, you stink, that was awkward, but it was necessary. The solutions might also be awkward. So let's say one thing that we've done before, we've gone on a smelling tour. Let's walk around the room and pick up different objects and talk about how much they smell to you or don't smell to you. What about this? What about that? What about you? What about this shoe? And it feels weird, but it promotes good communication. It promotes, okay, how are you actually feeling about this? Wow, I didn't know that that actually smells more to you, and it helps you collect the data that you need to make better decisions. If you know that that sweater really holds on to smell more, then that you need to wash more often, or your hair smells to me. Okay, well maybe we need to try and shower more often, make sure that we're washing hair when we're doing that. Another thing is to go on a shopping trip where you all buy deodorants together and talk about like, what smells good to you? Do you want to try this? What about that? Buying deodorant with your roommate sounds really weird, but like it could work, so you got to give it a try. So just random different ideas, go on a buying run with deodorants with roommates, go on a smelling tour, shower more, wash clothes more, open windows, turn on fans. Combinations of these things can usually end up finding a way where smell is changed or masked in a way where you can feel comfortable in your room and your roommate also does too. So hopefully this is just a framework for thinking about other conflicts too. You need to be able to listen, you need to be able to state the problem, you need to be able to collaborate, and you need to look at any solution that will work even if it might seem awkward at first glance. Thanks a lot.